can we just please ask if everyone can put their mics on mute apart from me and Oscar? And when you do have something to say, or when you do want to make a point, I mean, feel free to just unmute yourself and then ask the question, because that's what we want. We want it to be back and forth and interactive. Otherwise, it'll just be me and Oscar talking over it, which is also absolutely fine if you guys are all right with that. What I do recommend is have some sort of like pen and paper or something where you might want to make a note on a specific coaching point that's specific for your position. With these notes, they could just be bullet points that you might find, oh, okay, this is how I angle my press when the ball's in this situation. You might have learned something today or tonight, so you might as well write that down so it stays with you. Because there'll be quite a few coaching points, I think. All right, so what I'll do is I'll play it. I know Oscar's got a few coaching points from the very start. So Oscar, whenever you feel like there's something to say, just feel free to just jump in. Otherwise, I'll just be talking about what's happening.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, so we've got the back four, our two centre mids as pivot players, our number 10 between the lines in a good position, our left winger Henry's out wide. That's our right winger. Is that Patrick tucking in? I can't see our centre forward. Our centre forward needs to be in the picture at this stage. He's there. He needs to be here. Ball side. When the ball's over there with our left centre mid, the centre forward should be on this side of the centre back. Good bit of play. We keep in possession, and it's a good job that Patrick. If I can just take it back, Pat's narrowed in, and he's ended up in the centre forward position. If you have a look, that's Pat there. We wanted our right winger to tuck in, and he can make that run in between their defensive line, which is a good run. Good support from Kelvin, and Henry's up there as well. Cameraman let us down a bit, but I'm sure I think we had a shot, and now it's their turn. It's good to see our number 10 tackling from the front there, but we do need to pick up those second balls. So if we take it back there, it was quite easy for them to pick up the ball and then start a counter attack against us, which we can't really let happen. We've got our two centre mids. Okay, so we've got our number 10 marking there, number 4, in a good position, nice and tight. We've got our two centre mids on there, two centre mids, good. We've got our right back, Lewis, who's gone high because Patrick's gone to press the centre back. Patrick, this would be your man here, the fullback, and the two centre backs here you leave for the front man, Kelvin. Because you've gone there, I think you've given him just a bit of time and space to maybe step with it. So let's see what happens. He's played a pass into midfield where they've got it. They've set it back to their other centre mid. And then wriggle themselves out. And then number 9's gone and picked up the ball. Okay, so our message for our centre backs in this position, right? We've gone through quite a lot of detail from here, from up top. But now here, the centre-back's got to recognise that they're both doing a job on the number 9, and there is no threat in behind, right? Because their wide players have tucked in between the lines. So our centre-back, there's no reason for them to stay at home here. You might as well go. And plus it's a 2 against their 1. 1 goes and 1 stays and covers. But because both of them have decided to stay, it was quite easy for their number 9 to drop. If he's dropping, you can just stay tight with him and go with him.
I know, just to add something there, Bez.
Yeah.
what's really, really important, as you can see, although the left winger stayed inside, the right winger is making that run inside.
Yeah.
Really, really important is the fullbacks cannot be behind centre halves. So if you see here on the side of the picture, I don't know if you can point out Midi for me, Bez. Thank you. Midi is behind both of the two centre halves and is continuing to drop. That is an absolute nightmare for the two centre halves, because as the centre halves, they always should be the deepest players. So they're the ones that run the line. As a fullback, you have to stay in line with them, because if they step together and the fullback's keeping on side, that can cause real issues. So that's just something to bear in mind for you fullbacks.
Nice one, Oscar. And as you can see there, they nearly got in behind. So we should be stopping that from happening. All right, so if we look at us now playing out, right, so a message for our centre backs here: if there's time and space for you guys to step out with it, just step out with it, right? So goalkeeper's got it.
Just to add to that, Bez, as well. Sorry, mate. What helps a centre half step out with it is a centre mid not killing his space. So if you see Ollie Cox is dropping in, almost creating a back 1, 2, 3, 4, and then including Lewis, who's out of the picture, that's a 5. What's so important is there's no need for him to be there, because you're just letting the opposition press you. So if he goes and plays in between the lines, so beyond their front three press, then that's another outlet ball for the centre half to play, as well as giving him time to step in.
That's exactly it. So if we're not doing any particular rotations, we would want our 2 pivot players to be behind their first line of press, because there's no need for one to be in front, because we've already got 2 centre halves that can pass it against their 1 striker. Okay, so if the centre back does have the time and space to step with it, right, try make one of these players commit. So you want to be able to try draw them out or disrupt them in some sort of way. Or what you are doing also is you're narrowing the distance between the ball and your teammate, so the pass is a shorter distance. So that means you'll get there quicker. Because didn't quite step with it, and it was a long distance pass. This can't happen. Pat does well to recover and make a challenge. We'll try later on for a little bit. We don't really want to pause it every second. And if anyone's got anything to say, just feel free to unmute the mic. So nice and tight. Everyone's doing a job on their player. We've got Henry doing a job on the fullback. Right, okay. This was quite important during the game, I remember. Their midfield 3 were decent. There was loads of rotations. Their number 10 was like, he was as a pivot player, first receiver, then he would be number 10. When a team, say if a team has 2 pivot players and we've got 1 number 10, our other centre mid stays narrow to start, which would be somewhere up here, and as the ball's travelling into this centre mid, jumps out to press him. But there's no need for our both centre mids here now. If you can see Ollie and Laurel marking the 1 number 10. One needs to push on. So he's free. So Ollie, this is not too bad. So like, all right, so Teo was doing a job on this one. It's got to this one, which Ollie should have been on. Now, Teo's still doing a job on this one. So Ollie, you can't go out to him too early because you leave a hole in midfield. So just maybe, yeah, nice and compact. That's fine. We've forced them to kick it long, and we should be able to pick up the second balls with a bit more assertiveness. See, just play like that is a bit sometimes a bit sloppy. If you're letting them get the one touch around, which happens quite a lot, but just react to it and you should be able to get it first. Not bad run from Henry, good intention. It's being direct. We don't mind it. That's good. Took their midfield players out the game by driving with it. We don't mind that. It's good press by Pat on the fullback. That's him doing his job. Lewis was nice and tight on their wide player. Our midfield was on tight there on their midfield, so that's fine. We're setting up from a throw quite well with a 3v3 in the middle. Lewis is on the winger. This looks quite good. We've got Kelvin come on to this centre-back. We need Henry to be tucked in a bit more. So Henry's not in the picture at the moment. So Henry, as a wide player, when you're defending, if the ball's on this side and it's a throw-in, there's no need for you to be marking this player. You could be tucked in. You might have to be able to help out with pressing this centre-back's very narrow, which will give us a problem. But you being here, and if they start to switch it and this centre-back comes across, then you can jump out to the centre-back. So opposite wide player should be slightly in at this time.
It also allows you enough time and space to break. So if the ball, you are instantly the out ball. So if one of our central midfield players wins the ball in these kind of areas, the first pass is an easy pass to Henry, and then Henry, with your pace and how dynamic and how full thinking you are, that is going to cause you loads of problems because you've just got this space to attack, and then it gives the wide player, because one, you've got the time, the speed to go and recover if it goes over your head to the fullback, and yeah,
I think this is a great clip for you, Henry, because as a wide player, right, I tell you to hug the touchline and stay wide, to receive it out wide in 1v1 situations so you can beat the fullback or you can run in behind. But that doesn't mean stay wide all the time. And I know that can be a bit confusing. So this is where analysis and coaching gets into it. In possession, I want you to provide width and stay wide. But when the ball's on this side of the pitch and it's a throw-in and we've got our centre forward here, you could then become here, right? And then, like Oscar said, if we do win the ball, you then become the centre forward, right? The way Mane or Salah would do it when Firmino's dropped, just for example. If we win the ball here and just say we pass it backwards, right? And remember, you're here now in the middle of the pitch, and we pass it backwards again, that's your cue to then get back out wide to provide the width. So if that makes sense, you're out wide when we're in possession, but when the ball's on this side of the pitch and we are not switching it, you should be central. If we are switching it, then we need you to provide width. It was good from Aiden to come across and have that covering position after Tyler got beat 1v1. So we need that centre-back covering position, which was good to see.
I made some notes. No need to pause it, Bez, just so that they have an idea. So we're not stopping and starting. Ollie and Lamar making the same movement. What you want to do is, although you're building with the two, you want to play off of different lines. Does that make sense? So rather than both coming to the same, and you can draw, so if you just rewind it a little bit for me, Bez, we can use this as an example. So rather than, you can almost draw a straight line. So there's a front four. If Ollie comes into here, or Laurel spins, leaves that gap, Tio comes into, into the left-hand side. I forgot that you can't see my cursor. And then Ollie comes feet. That kind of rotation means that we're going to get out a lot easier. Whereas them both coming on the same line means that it's much, much easier to press.
Just is this Lewis here, the right back?
Yeah.
Okay, Lewis needs to be really wide to provide the width to open up the space here for the midfield players to do what they need to do. Mid-A nice and wide on the touchline. If they're pressing with one, we could have one drop to receive behind the number 9. And then we won't need another one. We'll just need another one behind their number 10. And then we've got our number 10 behind their centre mids. So, yeah, that's the way we need to do it. So I think from now, because we've gone over it a couple of times, as the clips go on, let's just see for the centre mids on the call, have a look at the centre mids positioning. That's not too bad from Ollie, because we can take the 9 out the game. If it goes into the fullback, can the fullback bounce it first time into Ollie inside? That's one way of finding the centre mid behind their number 9. See, this was a good game because they were quite good. They were organised. They had good shape and they knew what they were doing. So it was a good test. See, Pat, you've gone aggressive. You've gone on to the centre back again. You left the fullback, but that's fine because you won it. So I mean, if you're gonna go and you're gonna win it, that's all good. When you do go, just make sure you do cut off that pass that can go into their fullback, so he can't pass it into him. So keep an eye. Okay, so you can't go. You recognise that, which was good. It's nice and narrow, and you make an interception, which is brilliant. If we can just pick up the second balls. It's a bit unlucky for us because we did what we could. We just needed to secure the second balls. It's good from Aiden getting tight, not letting him go forward. Okay, we've been poor at picking up the second balls so far. I think they're picking up the loose balls and they will be able to go forward with it. Not bad idea on the counter attack. Good run from Kelvin. Good pass. It was unlucky. See, we need one of our centre mids to step out. Again, you've got Ollie and Laurel in the middle marking the one man. I think we went over this at half time anyway, I remember. Bit naughty, Pat, some might say. We don't mind it. We do want to see some good examples of us in possession. So far, like we've had some control, they've had control, but we haven't seen any of our patterns come out yet. So we will see them as the game goes on. But we need to be settled into the game. So 6 minutes gone and we haven't really got the ball passing yet. So just bounce it back to him, Laurel, or pass to mid-A, that's fine. If you want to go forward, that's fine. Aggressive with it. It's a good turn from Henry. It's a great drive. It's a great run. It's not bad. I mean, if we just go back to that.
That's what happens when you're aggressive.
Henry's,
Yeah.
It's decision making here though. So if you notice, once you've beaten the man brilliant and direct, you've got into a great area. You've just got to get your head up and see Pat at the back post. It's a goal.
Yeah, not bad shout. Not bad shout. They've done poor with their defending. We've dragged them out because Henry's dragged out their centre back, and their other centre backs coming across, and their left backs ended up all the way in here, which has left Pat free. If you can get your left foot whipped to the back post, that would have been a good pass. This one, I mean, their left back's done really well to read it. I think just a bit of confusion between you and Kelvin there, but overall it was good intent. If we just take it back here, sometimes, right? Henry, who was that spoke? Henry, was that you?
No, that was Laurel.
Laurel, okay, Laurel. You know when you say we want to be aggressive, we do, but we have to be sensible as well. So sometimes against a better team, you might not get away with that fantastic turn. Like that dummy, do you know what I mean? So what we do want to encourage is
I agree.
you know what I mean? So like you could disguise to play down this way, yeah, save the ball, you've got it here, it goes to Midday. Instead of Midday passing it forward here, they really should have done a better job to stop that pass from going forward. If Midday passed it back to Aiden passed it out to Taylor, then we come out this way, they have to shuffle across and we'll be able to have more space to be able to attack. So we do, but on this occasion, the dummy fooled him. They didn't stop Midday's pass. That was a good touch. So I can't fault you for it. It was a good run. But let's get into that best practice, that good practice of trying to switch play. Put it a bit. Okay. Throw into the box, being aggressive again instead of controlling possession. That's fine if that's what you want to do. But I did want to like develop you guys to be that team that could control possession. Do you know what I mean? And you guys have got the ability to do it. It should be 2-touch, just passing the ball. It's not bad from Taylor. It's all right. He was being pressed. He had to go long. We needed our centre forward. I remember Kelvin being tired in this game, but we just needed him on that side of the centre back, and he may have been able to run onto it on another day. We need the cameraman to help us out a bit. All right, good aggression from Henry. It's good. Pass into the man's feet to start the counter attack is a good idea. It was unlucky. Kelvin just needed to hold it up. I know what he was trying to do, but those counter attacks at any level can be dangerous. So it was a good idea to pass it into your front man's feet. And we noticed in uni football, there's quite a lot of counter attacks that leads to goals. So don't waste them as opportunities. So on the front foot, Ollie, not bad. Being aggressive, trying to start something. There's nobody else there with him, which apart from Kelvin, which is, I guess, what he had to try and do. But then it didn't work out, and now they're hitting us on the counter attack. So if you can understand what I'm saying, when you don't control possession and you're always trying to be forward and aggressive, sometimes when your attacks aren't that good, you also get hit on the counter attack, and then that's when the game turns into a basketball game. If you just settle down and control possession, you won't get hit on the counter attack as much. All right, so let's see our setup from goal kicks. Okay. Oh. Okay, that later. All right. So our setup from goal kicks. Right back, nice and wide, which is good. Our centre mid, right? I can see Ollie about to be really aggressive. He should just stay around here. Shouldn't drop so deep. Okay, he's gone tight with him, but he's left the hole in here. So if he can bounce it back, can we find another pass to exploit that space? Maybe needs to be a bit quicker. Gone for the channel pass, but it wasn't really on. If we do just keep possession and move the ball quickly with 2 touches, they won't be able to get their defensive covering positions that quick. So that's why we do need to pass the ball. All right, so they're being nice and calm. They're not really rushing anything. But Kelvin does brilliant. It's poor from them. It's an excellent run, Henry. Maybe should be a finish. Unlucky, 1-on-1 with the keeper. It was a great counter attack. Long distance pass, but do we get away with it? No. Taylor needed to step with it. See, this is what we mean by there's quite a few coaching points here, even in one situation. So just here, he's passed the ball, right? Pat, you haven't gone with him. And Lewis, you're keeping an eye on the player with the ball as well when the ball's gone beyond us. You have to track your runners and don't get done on the 1-2s. So Lewis, hop in with this player and kind of let this player have the ball, and then one of your teammates will come around and get this player. If you're going to be the one that's going to get engaged this player and you haven't recognized him, we could have got exploited in a different way. So get your heads around tracking runners. Should have been a goal. See, they've got the right idea by trying to switch play. They have done. They've got away with it. They messed up their final pass, and now it's with us. All right, so we're starting to see us like play out a bit more. We've seen Taylor play a couple of long balls. We want to be able to play now. So we just need to find a pass into midfield or try switch play. They're hitting us on the counter attack, but that was our fault. So we just need to start again. Have a look at our centre mids. Our wide players are wide. Pat should be in the pocket. Taylor's stepping with it, which is much better. Trying to look for Kelvin again. Sometimes those passes might not be on if we haven't drawn them out. The one passing behind's got through somehow, which is good stuff. Could have been a goal. Lewis getting nice and tight because you can, because there's no other threat, which is fine, which is good. Just a bit of miscommunication, but again, that could have been a chance. So it's a bit of an open game. It's very open. We're only 12 minutes in. I can see why the fans like it so much. All right, so Pat's staying narrow. That's Pat's job now. So Kelvin should be across. Yeah, that's the way we press. We know that, yeah? The number 9 should be on this centre-back here. But because he didn't do it because he was tired, we have to start again. Now we could see our second centre mid has gone tight to their second pivot player. Remember, they've got 2 centre mids and 1 number 10. We needed one of our centre mids to go, so now it looks good. The only danger is if Laurel goes really tight to this player too early, if they get it right, if their centre backs get it right, they could skip out this layer and find their number 10 who's got all of this space to beat Ollie 1v1.
Boys, just to try and get you involved a little bit, what's a way of stopping exactly what Bez has said?
Wait, sorry, what was that, Oscar? I just missed that.
Yeah, no worries. So Besim, with what Besim's just mentioned, with flipping the triangle, so it's a 1 and then a 2. What's a way of stopping the 2 central midfield players getting missed out in areas normally to the side of them or in between them, but they're quite tight, they're quite narrow, which is good. Anyone know?
To be fair, I'm not sure what you're asking. Are you asking, so we're playing, so we've got Ollie and then Laurel and someone else in front. And you're asking what they have to do so the centre-back doesn't play through them? So
I'm asking you, so to stop the centre-half, normally it's around the outside of them. So the two central midfield players are playing as 2 10s. They've locked on brilliantly. First of all, where's the danger pass? Either between them, into that big space that Besim's highlighted, or round the outside. So they've done well by being really, really narrow to stop the in-between. Where's the danger?
So the danger's forward, so like...
Forward, but round the outside of the 2 central midfield players. So the point I'm trying to get at is the wingers, if you stay nice and narrow as well, you stop those in-between passes, because what kills you with this movement is if one of their wingers comes inside and plays in that pocket, you miss out the whole press and you're fucked. So what's really, really important is the wingers come inside and you almost show the fullback. You give them the only option, their fullback, nothing inside, nothing inside. Then you use the touchline as a pressing trigger. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, good. So as Oscar has pointed out here, if their centre back does have the ball here, we really can't be this open, right? It's a good idea to go tight, but maybe not so early. Ollie doesn't need to be so deep, and then we can have our wide players tuck in, and we can have a compact midfield line, and they can have their wide players and number 10 between the lines, but because we're compact, they won't find them. But let's see what happens. They've gone into their fullback. Henry's gone nice and tight. So what we need to do now, we still haven't got the ball back yet, so we need to get compact. Maybe do it a split second earlier. Okay, so let's try not to be so sloppy from throw-ins. I mean, this happens quite a lot to us where 1 or 2 passes we get hit on the counter-attack. Sometimes these lead to goals and we might lose or draw a game. So let's just have a quick look on how that happened. So it's our throw-in. We've thrown it straight to them. They've passed it to us. We've touched it to them. They've got it. So Taylor, if he was going to go that tight into the 9, maybe you should be squeezing on the halfway line here now. And then a little bit higher. And then almost keeping an eye on him. So if he does get it in turn, you can be there to affect it. When one centre-back goes, the other one narrows in and has a covering position for exactly this reason. If their winger makes a blindside run beyond our fullback, which can happen, especially on the counter-attack, we need our covering positions. So the first one, Taylor needed a higher starting position so he could affect this one. And then Aiden needs to come round to have a covering position to be able to affect and help this one in behind. Lewis does well to get back. It's 1v1.
Can you just run that back just quickly, Bez?
Yeah.
I might be a little bit unfair on you, Laurel, mate. But if you notice, there's no way Ollie should be giving the ball away here, but he does. So how do we react to it? Okay, Terrell's gone, which is an okay decision, but ideally, as a centre-back, if you can stay at home and let somebody else keep the ball in front of you, then that stops the break. So they play through a gap that Tyler leaves. Whereas I might be a little bit unfair of you with how quickly everything's happened, but if Tyler can delay, and then you get round a little bit quicker, put pressure on that 9, then his only option is he's slowed down and he probably plays a sideway pass to the winger, and then we're in shape a lot. It gives us time to get into shape. I don't know what you think, mate, but
no, I agree. I just need to be a bit sharper. I just didn't expect him to lose the ball.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, it's a great shout, Oscar. If Laurel did react, 100% Taylor stays at home. I think Taylor felt like he had to go because that was his man, but his starting position was too deep. But yeah, you're right. If we could have our centre mids do it and our centre halves can stay at home, they won't be able to exploit the space. But it's one of those where it's almost like, I think it's just a bit sloppy, to be fair. The way it happened, starting from the throw, from the touch, from the lack of reaction, from the deep starting position. It's like one after the other, all in the space of like 6 seconds. Okay. Start position from Ollie, but he is marked by the 10, which is going to happen. Right wingers dealt with it. Pat, well done inside. So we need to switch play. We're being direct. Not bad because we've got Henry with pace, which is good. It's not bad. It's not the worst clip in the world. It's a good way of playing out. We've gone to the right hand side, then we've ended up on the left. It's the stuff that we've been talking about and working on. So good stuff. Well, you could have stepped with it if there was space in front of you. That would have allowed midday to get a bit higher. But it's all right. You found Henry in behind anyway. All right. So if we just have a look at this clip, it's of us defending. We need to quickly get our positions a bit quicker so they can't hit us on the counter attack. Lewis nice and tight, forcing them back. Teo's out there, which is good. So we need our 3 centre mids to be working together. So that is the wide player that's dropped. So that will give us a problem. What we can do is, Pat, I know you're doing a job on the fullback, but there comes a point where their fullback will end up really high and wide, and they will become like a wide player. So you need to pass him on to your fullback. So just have a communicate with him. Just be like, look, I'm going to pass him on to you. Then you could be the one that engages the wide player, which is the player that Lewis usually engages. So you swap roles, which will stop him from stepping out. So you can engage a bit, because Ollie had to step out, left a bit of space behind him, but we got away with it, which is fine. We're trying to be direct again. It's all right. Nice and tight from Laurel, but his turn, it was a bit unlucky. It's good to see Teo, our number 10, back there helping out, connecting play. It's a good pass. It's a good turn. It's brilliant. Playing between the lines. It's good stuff. Can we get out wide?
That's exactly the point I made previously, Laurel. Did you see how when you're on a different line to Ollie Cox, although you're building with 2, did you see that you're on a different line? And what that means is that, okay, we can use Ollie as the bounce player to switch play if we need to, but if they lock on, then that pass in between the lines is always on to the 10. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. Well done. Well played.
Cheers.
You're welcome.
Okay, so what we need to do now is we need to think about switching play, maybe a bit quicker, drive into the space. Ollie, don't have to pass it too early. So there's a bit of a thing here where we've tried to switch play on this one, and we did it on the other one, so that's getting better. But I think sometimes not driving into space when we can. So we just need to be a bit braver on the ball. And I think these little differences can help out your game massively. And at the higher level, all of those little differences count the most. Okay, so we're hitting on the counter attack, which is good. On the counter attack, you can be as direct and aggressive as you like. Do you know what I mean? It's when we're playing out and you're rushing to go forward is when I think you need to be a bit more sensible. But on the counter attack, by all means, go for it. All right, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do up to the 20th minute, and then I think we're gonna call it there because that will take us to 7 o'clock. Unless you guys want us to do a bit more, I think we'll call it there. So we'll do another 3 minutes of footage. What we can do, or we'll do 22 minutes. We'll do for another 5 minutes. Okay, Pat, do you know what I'm gonna say?
I remember then he was just always saying that I wasn't further back enough, so I was allowing them to do a 2-on-1 with Lewis.
Yeah,
so
did you see,
this further running back in.
yeah, did you see what just happened there?
Yeah, just straight past me.
Yeah, so like that they've passed it to their centre back. Yeah, you just keep an eye on, like, it might be their number 10 that's dropped into the centre back position, which is a bit weird. But just say they're playing out, right, and that's their centre back and that's their fullback, the guy that you're gonna do the job on. You let Kelvin show them one way, and now this is a bit of detail for you, right? You just stay half a yard behind this player on the line. So you see there's a line here, yeah? You just stay half a yard, but you stay narrow. So there, I would say you're 2 yards ahead of him. Do you know what I mean? His line is here. You're 2 yards ahead of his line. There's no need for you to engage this centre back because Kelvin should be doing it. Remember what we said, if you are going to engage the centre back, Lewis engages the fullback. And then we can tell our centre backs to take care of their wide player. But we can't do that in this situation because their fullback is really deep. So you need to drop, like you said, and then engage the fullback. You eventually, like, to be fair, get an interception on it. So got away with it. But there's that little bit of detail where if you just have a little scan, hold your position, you won't be running around as much.
Yeah.
Good interception from Tio. We just need to secure it. They're not bad on the ball. They do like to have it. They're quite composed and relaxed on it. They're not like forward and panicky. Do you know what I mean? They take their time. They've made a couple mistakes, but it hasn't really got to them. See, that's not bad from them, and that's not bad from us. That's good stuff. We've had our right centre back come across to do the job. Back. All right, so it was the free kick. This is what I said to Taylor at half time. I remember quite clearly. Said if you're going to go with him that tight, you might as well just go with him all the way now. There's no point of going with him and then letting him turn and giving him this much space. And then Ollie taking over and then really not really affecting it. And then him having a shot and nearly scoring. If you're a centre back and you've gone tight to the opposition striker, go touch tight and touch them. Make contact.
Sorry, Bez, if you rewind it just a little bit, just before the entry pass that splits our midfield. Just pause there for a little bit further if you can, mate. Okay, so completely fine that Tio's gone and put pressure on the football. Pat's gone to put pressure on. I'm not sure whether that's their fullback or their centre mid that's come out wide. I can't tell. But anyway, all right shape there. Ollie Cox and Laurel, who's the blurry one there. I don't know. Bez in the middle of the screen. Yeah, there you go.
I think that's the referee.
Is that the referee? Hang on. Go. There we go. Perfect. So, Laurel, they're fine going backwards from there. You've got to defend the centre of the goal first. So if you tuck in and then Ollie Cox steps, it means Tyler can stay at home. So then you're the ones that are putting pressure on the football and forcing them backwards, or can you nick it in an ideal world? Whereas because you're so high and Ollie Cox is so deep, it means that centre half's having to step into that space, whereas we don't want it. We just want a centre back to go and defend the edge of our box, go and win headers, be strong. We don't want them coming in and trying to pick up players in these kind of pockets because it leaves loads of runners and leaves Lewis Anderson in a horrible position as well. So, Laurel, if you can get in really to where the cursor is and then Ollie Cox is doing that, then we're a lot more solid. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Any questions? Nah, cool.
just a minor thing, Lewis, like when it comes to like defending crosses here, if you're going to be a fullback, just get out there as quick as you can. Even if you're not going to get there, you're likely to put him off, and his cross might not be like that good. That cross is not too bad. They just needed somebody to attack the back post. But if we can affect the cross, just get out there as quick as you can and get nice and tight.
I think Tyler stepped in following one of their players, and I went to follow the other one. Then we kind of swapped back round. So yeah, no, that was just my mistake. So I think whereas Tyler's like with that guy, and then we swap round.
Yeah. To be fair, if I pause it now, the setup's not right anyway, because we need Pat to drop to do a job on the thrower. With the thrower, they've got 4. We've only got 3. So it's my fault for not going over it with you guys. You can't leave a 4v3 from a throw-in, especially when you're defending a throw this high. Because yeah, you're right, Lewis. You're doing a job on this guy, and then I'm asking you to press the one that's crossing it. But if we had the player that we needed, we can get out there. I'm just saying on this occasion, if you are going to be the one that's going to stop the cross, you might as well just go all out, and then you might be able to get a little touch on it. But the setup wasn't right because we needed Pat to drop a bit.
Whereabouts would you stand, Pat, do you think? Where's your responsibility?
So Lewis is marking their wingers, so I'd be on his toes. So then I could go out to the person taking the throw.
So an ideal setup. Ollie Cox is fine. Laurel's in a really good position. What you really want is Lewis Anderson to do toes on their 9. You do toes on their winger. So then he's telling you constant information in which way the winger's going. You track him, and then if he pulls really far, that's when Lewis Anderson goes engages. But you're just stopping toes. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
It's a good pass. It's a good drive. Could have stepped with it a bit more. So just take it back quickly. Ideally, right? It's a good pass to Laurel to break the line. Number 10's taking it on the back foot. The next step is, Pat, we don't want you calling it there anymore. We want you to get in behind. Lewis, it's a long way for you to go, but when our wide player's gone in there, it's an opportunity for you to go on the outside. And especially our number 9 is going to be running in behind. We need the number 10 to commit one of the back 4. So he's getting away from this player, and he's going to drive and make one of these players commit. Ideally, if Teo makes this player commit, he slides in Kelvin. If Pat gets a bit higher, right, and gets in between this centre-back and full-back, if Teo makes this centre-back commit, Teo slides in Pat. But as Teo's driving with it and the back 4's dropping, Lewis is getting up there. If Teo decides to use Kelvin and Pat as decoys and Teo makes this player commit, he slides in Lewis. So that's the way it should be done. When a player, whoever it is, receives it on the back foot between the lines, you drive at one of the back 4 to make them commit. Once you make them commit, which is basically when they're dropping, as soon as they stopped dropping, they've committed to you. You don't need to get really close to them because they might end up tackling you. You just need to make them commit to you. But you need to be clever. You need to think about who you want to commit. You want to commit this player to slide in Kelvin. You want to commit this player to slide in Pat. You want to commit this player to slide in Lewis. So there's an art to it when you receive it on the back foot between the lines. So you've got to keep going because you haven't made any of them commit. It was quite easy for them to defend it. But it's okay. We start again. We still got the ball. We may need to think about switching play because they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players all in this little bit of the area of the pitch. So I don't understand why you would think you should still go down that side of the pitch. Have to be switching play. That's the second time now. Okay. No, we're still not switching. No. We've got to switch play. They should be able to defend it, but they don't. We get a chance. I'm just letting you guys know the best way to play the game. If you're playing at a higher level and you're attacking down the side of the pitch where the opposition team have 7 players, I'm telling you, you're unlikely to play through. If you switch it, you'll be more likely to play through. Looks like against these lot, you've got away with it a couple times. It's not bad. That bit there, that's the half space one that we've been working on. So that's our wide triangle. Don't know if you remember this. We've got our, on the left-hand side of the pitch, we would have the left back as the base of the triangle. We had our left winger out wide, and we had our number 10 in the pocket. If it goes into the wide player on the touchline, he draws out the fullback, and our number 10 makes that half space one in behind, which is an underlap. Just needs a really good weight of pass, a bit less weight on the pass. Teo could cut it back to Kelvin, and we can create a chance. But it's good to see that some of the stuff that we worked on in training is trying to come out.
Cool. A little bit from me as well, Bez. Just another thing that hasn't helped it is its quality play. Third man runs brilliant. For you number 9, so Fenton, Casimir, I know you're on the call. What about Kelvin's movement? How can he help that situation out? Calling you out, Fenton.
Say that again, Oscar, please.
So, it's well played and it's definitely on. The third man run from, is it Teo? I'm not. Teo is quality and it's a pattern that you've worked with Bez. But what about Kelvin that can help that whole situation out?
Did he maybe drop and offer it?
Drops into that, and also it means that they can step up a little bit, which means that maybe that he's caught offside. What I would call for the number 9 to do is, if you notice, the guy that gets across is the one that's actually marking Kelvin. So with Kelvin, if he recognises quickly that Teo is going to make that third man run, he can pull round the outside and go in between the centre backs. Because what that does is the centre half's in the thought process of, that's my man, I've got to stay with that man. So even if he takes 1 step, 2 steps with Kelvin, who makes that run in between the centre backs by peeling off, it opens more space to make that third man run. So Teo might even get there. I know the pass is a little bit too harsh or whatever, but it's just a little way of thinking that sometimes as a number 9, you're not thinking about yourself. Kelvin's never going to score from peeling off, but it means that he might get on the second phase a chance because it's easier for Teo. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool.
Nice one, Oscar. That's a good one. So we want Kelvin to be in between these 2 centre backs here. So you could say what Oscar's saying is he's too close to this centre back. So if he comes here in between and peels off, this centre back here will now think about Kelvin, which might make him, take 1 or 2 yards this way towards the inside of the goal, which gives more space for Teo to get onto it after he's made the run. So it's a good shout, Oscar. Good detail. Okay, so we can't be really letting it bounce twice. We've got to be making sure we secure those balls. It's all right. It's still our ball. Get back. So when the pass gets played back like that, we just need to squeeze up, steal a couple yards. So we close. There you go. Lewis is trying to do it. Lewis, don't do it without your defensive line. So it should be like a straight back four. It shouldn't be like this because the wide player could exploit the space behind our fullbacks like this and like that. We need the back four to squeeze up. We need the midfield to squeeze up. And we're nice and compact. If we feel like they're about to go long or go over us, that's when you start to drop. So it should be like moving forward or squeezing up to narrow the space in midfield and to also drop off at the right time. Okay. So Laurel's just received it just in front of the first line of press. So we just need him. Laurel, we just need you to be behind the first line. So we just need one of you midfield players to be behind the number 9. It's not too bad. I mean, you've drawn him out. So it's not the worst thing because you're creating space for somebody else. So you can just bounce it back. It's fine, but we don't need maybe 2, so that's fine. Getting higher, that's better. That's much better. Good stuff. Oh, if we switched play and got out, that would have been excellent. So let's just watch it again. I might have spoken a bit too early on this clip, but because Laurel, you've done well to draw him out and then exploit the space behind him. So you've got it there, you passed it back to him. Now you're peeling off, you're getting a bit higher. There you go, he's committed to him. Lovely stuff, and we can get out. If we switched out to Lewis, it would have been an excellent example. But it's all right, we're patient. It's not the worst thing being patient, we've still got it. See, if you include our goalkeeper, we've got 5 versus 2. One's joining, 5 versus 3, which is fine. But we can't be sloppy. We just can't be sloppy like that. Those are faults of our own. All right, gents. It's 7:15, and we're 22 minutes 26 in. What I'm gonna say is, I think we'll end it there because we don't want to do too much. It'll get boring. It'll get, you know, like it's becoming a chore. We don't want it to be a chore. We want it to be fun. So, unless anybody has any objections, I say we end it there and we try to continue it like as soon as possible to watch the second bit of that half, and then probably continue to do it. Do you know what I mean? I think we can only watch 22 minutes of footage per session, otherwise it will get a bit too much. So we can just do 4 parts for this game, and then we can try. And if anyone's got any suggestions, I can get footage of elite football. I could get some Liverpool games. We won't watch the Liverpool Man City game. We'll watch another game. Do you know what I mean? We could watch anything. I can get clips of positions. So I think, you know, during lockdown, during these times, we can do more of these. So any suggestions, like Henry, if you've got anything that you want to know on any wide players or wingers, can make sure the analysis session includes a lot of that. There's been a lot of stuff for centre mids today. So Laurel, hopefully you took something from today. And any suggestions about what the analysis sessions can be like, just send a message over to Lewis.
Yeah, no, I was just about to suggest the same thing. I think it's made all of us proper miss playing football, and I think it'd be good if we could do some sort of another session like this. So yeah, maybe we could make it like a regular thing on a Thursday evening. Yeah, to carry on doing the sessions. I think that'd be good. Yeah, Thursday evenings is good with me. Any evening around or like after 5 or 6 is good for me because of work. I don't think we should leave it too long before the next half, just so things are fresh in our head. Do you know what I mean? The weekend is not a weekend for me. It's just like any other day. So, do you know what I mean? Yeah. Any time that you guys are available, just give me a shout. Yeah. Yeah. maybe not the weekends. I don't know. When would be best for you? You saying the weekends or maybe midweeks?
Midweek after 5 or 6. Weekends could be any time.
Okay. What about everyone else in the group? Is there any suggestions on days or whatever?
Yeah, I'll be free this weekend as well.
Okay. Sunday. Yeah, maybe we could call it Sunday evening.
Yeah.
What I might do is I might just message around the like group chats and stuff again to see when's best for people. Maybe if it's not Sunday's good. Yeah, maybe we could do like Monday evening or something like that. See when people are good to do it. But no, I really enjoyed the session, lads. I think that was really useful. I've definitely taken a few things from it. So yeah, if we can finish off the rest of the half and maybe do another the second half and stuff as well, that'd be really good.
Good stuff. Okay. Any questions? Just be in touch.
Yeah.
I'll see everyone next time.
Yeah, cheers.
Yeah.
See you later, Bez.
See you later, guys.
Thank you for that. Cheers for everyone for coming as well.
Cheers.